Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial using the eyeshadow palette Culture by Juvia's Place. So stay tuned, you won't want to miss this look. Okay, so to start, I'm going to prime my face, and today I'm using e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer. So just take a little bit, you don't need a lot, and just blend that into your face really well. Make sure to cover all areas. I really like how this feels. It feels kind of silky on my skin, and it's very light. I really like this a lot. So let's see how it does. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of foundation on my eyes to get them ready for my shadow. Of course, blending that in with a sponge. Okay, so seeing as how it is a Friday night, I thought we would do something a little fun this time. So instead of doing the same color in 4 different shades, we're going to do 4 different colors for this makeup look. So for the first color, we're going to do this shadow up here called Afro Beats. So go ahead and take some on your brush and let's get started. Feel free to be generous. Okay, so we're going to start at the beginning of our lid, pat it on, and then we're going to swoop it all the way over to the inner. So let's pat, and then let's start swooping. At this time, I'm going to figure out how high I want it. I see that it's up a little high, and I think that will be good for this look that I'm going for. So we'll keep it at that height. If you need more, feel free to add more to your lid. So I went ahead and added a little bit more shadow, and I'm just patting and moving it over. Don't worry about any excess that falls. We will clean that up later. Really make sure, since this is a light color, that you really get that color on the outer of your lid and that it shows. Okay, so now that you have your lids covered with this first color, now I would just take the time and make sure that your eyes are even, and you could add a little bit more color if needed. Just make sure that that color is on well, and again, that your eyes are pretty even. So I'll just take the time to do that now. So I went ahead and added a little bit more to the end of my lids, and I just blended it on like this, just to make sure you can still see that color well, because remember, you are going to be putting 3 colors on top of this color. I think that looks pretty good. Our next color is going to be this color up here called Boronu. So first I'm going to wet my brush to help the color stick. And we're going to go ahead and grab some of that shadow onto our brush. So I'm starting on my outer, and I'm just patting it on like so. And also creating a straight line to have the look be a little bit more cleaner. You don't want to go too high up, but you want to go high enough. So I'm starting about here and then just filling it in. Also swooping it over just a little bit. And this is what it should look like to start. Okay, so it might look a little crazy right now, but just trust the process. Let's go ahead and get our third color on. So for our third color, we're going to go ahead and do the color Bono. So do the same with putting water on your brush and go ahead and get that color on. Okay, and we're going to put this color right next to that purple. So go ahead and lightly tap it on to start, just like this. Still creating that line up top. Just tap it on. Grab a little more shadow if you need. Okay, that color actually looks really pretty, especially next to that purple. And then I'm also blending it into the purple just a little bit. Okay, so here's the blue. If you feel like that purple got a little lost while blending, you can always go ahead now if you wanted to and just add a little bit more of that purple. Okay, and for our last color, we're going to do the color Calabash. Using the same technique with spraying our brush, now we're going to start on the inner. Okay, so making sure to create that line up top as well. Gonna go ahead and blend this in to that blue, just like this. Just lightly tapping it in like so. Okay, so now that all of your colors are on, this is how it should look. So now we're going to take this time. We're going to see if we want to add any more shade to any of the colors, and then we'll also clean up the excess. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more purple on each lid. All right, so now I checked to see if both eyes look similar. They look pretty good, so now we'll move on to our next step, and that is falsies. So I am using these dramatic falsies. Of course, you could use any style of falsie you want. I just personally feel that the dramatic falsies go better with my looks. So I'm going to put those on, and then I'll be back. All right, so now that our falsie's on, we're going to go ahead and do our brows. For our brows, I'm using Morphe's Micro Brow Pencil. First, I'm going to brush my brows. And then I'm going to start at the beginning and just gently pencil them in, going in an upward motion. I'm just penciling in any bare spots that I may see. And I do that all the way to the end of my brow. Okay, so my first brow looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and do my second. Next, we're going to work on our waterline. So that's going to be 2 steps. You need an eyeliner pencil and then a thin brush. Okay, so first we're going to use our eyeliner pencil and get our waterline, starting at the inner and going outward, just like this. And you're going to repeat this step with your second. Okay, so on the brush, you're going to take a little bit of black matte shadow, and you're just going to go over that waterline. So starting at the inner and going all the way to the end. And you're just going to go ahead and repeat that step for your second eye. Okay, so there you go. So some people don't really like doing the waterline with the liner. So if you prefer, you could just do your waterline with the black matte shadow and this brush. I find it to be a little bit more easier to tolerate, like a little less aggressive than like having the liner on and pressing down. We all know how difficult that could be, right? So this is an easier way to put like liner on using black matte shadow, and the outcome is basically the same. Or you could do what I just showed, do your liner if you're one of those type of people that don't have a problem putting liner on and then putting this on top. So another thing that you can do is you can bring one of the colors from up top down to your waterline instead. Even though I already put black liner and shadow on my waterline, I added a little bit of purple just for a little bit of fun. So I'm just going to add a little bit more because I do want that purple to show some on the bottom. I didn't go all the way across. I went about halfway. Okay, so now that that is all done, it's coming along nicely, right? I told you, trust the process. All right, so now for our next step, we're going to put foundation on. If you have concealer as well, you could put that on too. I don't normally put concealer on. I just go right into the foundation. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to do that as well, and I'll be back. Okay, so now that our foundation is on, we're going to go ahead with our last two steps. So that is blush and lipstick. I'm going to do these two steps off camera, but I will tell you the products that I'm using. So as always for our blush, it's our Ulta Beauty and the color is Pink with Envy. And then for our lipstick, we're using Milani and the color is number 26 Nude Cream. Here is the color. So I'm going to go put these on and then I'll be back with a finished look. And here is our finished look. Something a little fun for a Friday night, don't you think? Well, thanks for joining and remember, always keep it glossy. Mwah.